here with Matt Dominich, undergrad, working with me on getting this 1972 vintage or so Mini-Rapid Scan, ISI Mini-Rapid Scan SEM up and running. We coated gold on a new sample that has a variety of items on it. I'm going to give you a tour of the items. So first I'm showing you at the lowest magnification that there are some things on there. We're going to start with the spider leg. And yes, the image is jumping, but the fact is that it's not jumping on the SEM monitor. It's only doing that on the computer because it's having problems syncing somehow. So we zoom in, you can see the hairs on the leg, and you can see where the hairs come out of the legs, right here, like that. That's a hair growing out of a spider leg, and the hairs have striations on them, as you can see. Kind of cool, a lot of structure there in insects. Hairs coming off of hairs, well, those are probably just peeling off of the hair so that it improves their sensitivity or how well they can grab things. I would just guess, just guessing, not a biologist. And so here's some pollen grains. So if we were pollen enthusiasts, we would know what part of the country this spider lived. That's the highest magnification that this can go to, which is 9,000 times. It goes to 9,000x. The diameter of a pollen grain, I think, is something like 10 microns or so. I think. There's a broken hair. We can look down the end of a hair. We see that it is hollow, and it has a hollow tube that is only a few microns across. I would guess possibly 3 or 4 microns across. We can use the pollen grain as a gauge. I don't know how big the pollen grain is. I'll find out later, but I don't remember exactly how big it is. But you can see the tube, and so those are definitely nanostructures, I think, that are built by nature. Now we're going to move over to a feather that came from my family's pet parakeet years ago, and we'll just look at the feather. And this is a down feather, not a regular feather, but a downy feather. And what I find interesting about it, if I can find the part that I'm looking for, and I might ask.
Around 5.59x.
Right, I think I found what I'm looking for here. Is that the feathers have structures on them that expand from the edges of the feathers, and I think they're there for the clumping to create airspace between the feathers for insulation, and maybe ways of hooking the feathers together or keeping them in line. Maybe these align the feathers for the spaces. Maybe this hollow region right in the middle here, that's the highest magnification, grabs into another piece of feather here and is what causes the feathers to take on their overall orientation. So we can look for different structures. Actually, that's not the only shape in the feathers. That was the shape I found. But if we want to look, I'm going to spend a little extra time here looking along the feather. You can see that the feathers do have different cross sections. And let's see. Here's some more of this. That's a nice example of it. Get a different view of it. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And let's see, I think there's some other structure. Well, here we can see sharper ones. Maybe those are ones that were just beginning to expand out by splitting off or something like that. So that seems to be the predominant structure that's on budgie feathers. Tell me that's a bug. No, just a piece of junk. Okay, there is some charging going on. That's why it's moving. Things move when they charge. This is gold coated, but that apparently does not solve all the charging issues. Let's continue our tour. We now move to a butterfly wing that did have color in it in the light. And if you you should be interested to know that butterfly wings do not actually have pigments that I know of. They get their color from the nanostructures in the way they refract light. I think I should say diffract light. There's diffraction, and that causes different colors to show up. So where was my favorite little piece that had lots of structure in it? That has a lot of structure in it. You can see the struts within the struts. And that's what, and there are actually struts within those struts, but I only saw those in a much better electron microscope than these. But you can see that at the highest magnification, those are pretty darn small structures. And that's the noisy pot. So really a lot of structure inside of butterfly wings. So that's the wing, and then it's got the smaller wing platelets on the wing, and inside those platelets there's large struts within those struts, and it's possible that if this machine were working better, and I'm trying to tweak it, but that's the highest magnification, you could actually see struts that run parallel to the big struts between the little struts, and I think I'm actually seeing those in this video. Actually, right now the video is much better than the screen. I'm liking the video better. So let's move on so as not to take forever. It is kind of interesting to see how they're held on. They're held on with stalks that grow out of the wing, and here's a broken stalk. You can see that. So the broken little winglets have come out of those stalks. Now we're going to move to a grass seed. And the grass seed looks like a fruit. It's got ends to it that look like corn stalks. You can see the ends are like corn stalks. This end in particular looks like it's a fruit. See the shape of that? Oh, what did I just do? Okay, I changed the condenser. I shouldn't have done that. I grabbed the wrong knob, but that looks pretty good actually. Wow, that's the best it's looked. I should do that more often. Okay, and the surface is rough. It kind of looks like wood. Zooming in on that surface. A lot of stuff there. That's the highest magnification. I don't know what all that stuff is. It could just be dirt, or it could be flakes of the grass seed material. And you can see that it has a husk, because the husk is flaking off here, just like corn, just like a husk of a corn. And then the kind of a neat thing is the stalk, where it was attached to the grass and where it broke off. I can make that brighter by changing the condenser lens again. So I'm starting to kind of get a feel for this machine. It's starting to behave quite nicely, actually. Okay, and then the last thing is just simply a pretty small watch gear. I would say it's what, a millimeter across? About a millimeter. And then we can see how it was stamped out. And some of the structure, I think I can go with a little bit higher condenser lens on that guy. And you can see the imperfections in the stamping of the watch gear as we look along the edges. The lines of the tool, I think, as it got punched out of a piece of metal. Just as a guess, that's what we're looking at. We're pretty confident in saying that. They didn't machine it, they punched it out with a stamp. So here's the, let's see, there's something at the edge. It's wrapping around in the image in the video. That's what's going on. The right edge is wrapping around. Here's the, where the arbor goes on the, oh, I keep hitting the wrong button. This is what I need to do. So we can look down inside. We can focus all the way to the bottom. As long as the electrons can get out, we can see it, and then work our way back to the gear, and you can see the lines along the surface where it was machined, I think. Maybe those are scratches from when it was rubbing against stuff inside the watch as it worked. Alright, that is the end of the tour. Any questions? Email me. bernstein.1@nd.edu.